Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
And we're talking the Challenge All-Stars 3 in overview. Because we haven't talked about this season whatsoever. And we're quite late.
Yeah. We have not talked about it at all. On or off.
Neither other season. Previous season. Yeah. I talked about it with someone else. But I don't want to bring up his name. No.
Yeah.
It's too awkward. So let's dive into this. First of all, I want to say that I like the All-Stars thing. I think it might be better than Pros and Stars. That one, you know? Yes and no. I don't know. But it's got an edge to it, which is nostalgia. You know, we see old fucking people come back and they're better than ever, like Jonna, fucking Kendall. You know, it's like they were never that great back in the day. All of a sudden they are.
Yep. Even like Melinda in season 2.
Yep.
I was like, oh wow, she was like total pushover, and now she's great. Like, yeah, especially with Jonna.
Exactly.
She was terrible.
Wow. Terrible.
Yeah, she was. And then now she shows up in All Stars. Like, she doesn't deserve to be there. And then she's like one of the most dominant chicks there. It's crazy.
Motherhood. That might be the thing. I don't know if they're all mothers. Was Melinda mother?
Maybe.
She did have the...
Was Danny involved?
This is going to be cut. For sure.
Was Danny involved? Did he pay for it?
I don't know.
What? What are we talking about?
This reminds me of Marilyn Monroe versus Wade the Duck from Garfield.
What? I don't know what that means.
That's cut as well. Holy shit. Alright.
I need to Google this.
I'm trying to say Roe versus Wade. Alright.
Oh.
I gotta spell it out.
So Wade the Duck. I was like, I don't know what that means.
Marilyn Monroe versus Wade the Duck from Garfield.
Garfield?
Yeah. You never watched Garfield and Friends? Holy shit, man.
With the cat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know his owner's name? Dave.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Dave Arbuckle?
Wasn't it? Or wait, was it the guy who owned the Chipmunks? His name was Dave.
Dave owned the Chipmunks, for sure. Yeah.
Was it not Garfield as well? I feel like they were both Daves.
It sounds right, but it's not. John Arbuckle.
He looks like a Dave, though.
All of this is clipped out. I just have to make a note. At minute 3, we actually start this.
Let's just start over.
All right. I just want to say this. I'm just going by some notes that I've written down randomly when I was thinking back. Right? I didn't go back and watch all these episodes at all. The missions are just okay. And this is definitely against season 1, where they had all those old people, and the missions were so fucking demanding. They were like, we don't give a fuck if you're old, you know?
Yeah. You needed cardio and endurance.
But, like, remember all those injuries, all those people that had to go into the ambulances and stuff like that. It made it more real. It actually made me more interested. It was, older people getting injured. It was very Jackass forever.
Katie, like, her face was all busted up. Anissa, like, fell and broke her shoulder or some shit.
Yeah. Even if you weren't taking out of the game, you still had to go into the ambulance sometimes. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. So with that,
we're saying that we didn't like that?
No. I'm saying I liked it, but that went away in season 2, and for sure in this season. Like, they weren't too demanding in this one. They were fine. I think.
Was it a lot of heights over water?
Yeah.
Seemed like it, at least.
Yeah, it wasn't as varied this season, for sure. Yeah. And they weren't dangerous. That was the thing. You take older people, and they do get injured. Like, we'll see, like, Tina leaves with a broken finger. Veronica leaves with a broken finger. That will happen. Fucking Melinda was still injured from...
The final?
Yeah! How short? How much of a turnaround was there.
Did she hide her injury just to show up and get a paycheck and then leave?
Well, then in that case, good job. Why not?
Yeah.
I'd do the same thing. I would hide it.
You know, MTV's producers were going over that contract. Like, what the heck?
But anyways, the missions are just fine. Whatever. We don't get as much hurt and, you know, not so cringy for the elderly. So we're going to have winners this time and the Authority. Winners get a thing called the Sabotage, which right away I'm just like, oh, okay. You fucked it up with the grenades and vendettas, I think.
Uh-huh.
Was it that? Where, again, producers are manufacturing drama. Wes had to deal with yes, because he won. It didn't matter where he put the grenade. Well, I guess it mattered how he presented it. But still, it wasn't his idea to sabotage someone, you know? It's just, again, manufactured drama. I really did not care for that. In fact, we'll get into it more, where it's like, this was more dramatic than the laid-back Season 1 and Season 2. That was the other thing that I missed about the other seasons. This one is way more, like, Wes is there. He's doing his typical Wes thing. Mm-hmm. He's plotting. He's scheming, you know? And then you have the treehouse with Kayla and Sylvia. All of a sudden, Sylvia's playing a heel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I used to love her.
I still do. She's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you still love a girl after she turns evil and breaks your heart?
Oh, yeah.
You might have just described all my exes, Derek.
Sometimes it kindles that fire.
Okay, next. I have Jordan and Nia are now a thing.
Yeah, what is up with that? Because my whole thing was like, oh, this is going to be interesting to see those two together. Because, like, how much do they still hate each other? No, Nia is madly in love with Jordan. Nia, like, as we see this entire season with Nia, she seems to, like, have a general dislike and distaste for just about everyone. Like, she doesn't seem to, like, really like anyone there. But Jordan, she fucking loves him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
That's her fucking life force. As soon as she leaves, she's, like, quits on a heights thing in the helicopter and stuff like that. It's very bizarre. But I just want to go back to Exes 2.
Oh, yeah.
Why she got kicked off, she fucking was, like, saying, oh, are you gay? Maybe you are gay, or maybe you're a woman, you don't have a penis, or something like that. And she touched him on the crotch.
Yeah.
And Jordan was like, I actually kind of liked it. Yeah. But he never said anything.
Well, Jordan was wearing, like, yoga pants. And at that time, if I remember correctly, like, when I watched it, dudes did not walk around in tight yoga pants. Like, that was not something that dudes did. But Jordan did.
Right. And
so she was, like, calling him out for being gay. Which he's not.
Even though she claimed to be part of the LGBT community known then. There might have been other.
Really?
Before or after. I'm not really sure. But that was that was another weird thing. She was like, I'm part of the community, but I'm accusing you of being a woman because you ain't shit. You don't have a dick. And it's like, who are you insulting here, right? I remember all this shit. I remember that episode. So she's back, and not only is she back, but the man she sexually assaulted is into her now. Talk about the touch.
Yeah, she's got the Midas touch.
Because Jordan would go on to win like 3 other finals. I don't know.
Wow, that's true. She propelled him to a win. So, like with Nia, I forgot my thought already. So we're starting off very poorly. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out the psychology of Nia here. Is she trying to make up for like her past regrets? Does she regret how she acted then? So now she's going full the other direction, like, I love him, I'm gonna make things right.
Wow.
Like,
oh shit.
Like, it seems fake, but it's not. It's very real to her. And I don't understand it. That's because, like, at first I was like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, they fucking hate each other. And then watching this whole season, I'm like, no, she fucking loves him. I don't fucking understand it at all.
That's true. Wow. We'll talk about that if it comes back up, I guess. I have Wes versus Yes. This was a nice little rivalry that was going on. I love them both. It was, to me, I'm like, I wish they could get along, but they weren't. In fact, they were having conversations about how they didn't like each other, and they plotted against each other and shit, where I'm like, awesome. Where's this going to go? Is Wes going to send Yes in? Are they going to meet in the final? They meet in the elimination.
Yeah, so
awesome.
This was just like Nia and Jordan, but the opposite. I thought they were going to be like, oh, they're definitely going to be an alliance together. Like, for sure. And then immediately they're just like, oh, no. You're like, Wes is like, Yes is the biggest scumbag in this game. Just like talking shit. And I'm just like, what? No. I'm like, in my head, I was like, who is Wes going to align himself with this season? Because I'm like looking like, oh, he's burnt that bridge, he's burnt that bridge, he's burnt that bridge. I'm like, there's a lot of people who aren't going to like Wes. I'm like, Derek ain't going to like him, Brad ain't going to like him. I'm just going down the list of dudes. I'm just like, okay, I'm like, he's got Nehemiah, and I'm like, maybe Yes on his side? Like, who else could it be? And then it's like, nope, he hates Yes.
Yeah, that's true, very true. I like those two going against each other. The one that they had to compete against, I just hated that Wes did get help. He did.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he could have won either way. Who knows? Because Wes still holds the most wins, the record. He still has the record.
Really?
Yeah.
Elimination wins?
Yeah, elimination wins.
Okay.
And even if you just count the spin-off wins, he still has a lot or something like that. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing great. And even Yes acknowledges that. He's like, you know what? I'm here to challenge myself. He's like genuine and earnest when he says that, you know? It reminds me of Abe, where he's like, I'm just here to compete. And, you know, I don't watch the show. The show is garbage. You know? Yeah. So that's how I feel. All right, next. Oh, we already mentioned this. Melinda is still injured from the final in All Stars. 2 quits versus Tina in elimination, which is the reverse of what happened in season 2 when Tina quit, having to go against Melinda. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was slightly different circumstances, though, because
Someone was actually injured.
Tina was afraid that she would get shamed and lose to Melinda. She was just afraid of losing, much like Beth will do. Where she's just like, oh, I have no chance, I'm just going to quit, rather than actually, like, losing against someone. Like, isn't that, like, that's how I felt. But, like, Melinda, she was legitimately injured.
Right. From the final. How much of a rollover, whatever, from the season 2 final to this season? And why so quickly?
Was it 3-4 months turnaround? Fairly quickly.
You think so?
Yeah. And when you're in your late 30s, we know getting past injuries in a couple months, that can be tough sometimes. Sometimes you need a full year.
This whole thing's going to get thrown in the trash. I can't believe you.
Calling you out for being old and injured? Come on, Vince. Fess up.
No, it's fucked up. It's like she injured her leg, and not even badly. She twisted her ankle, and it still hurts. That's something else. I don't know. God damn it. It's so fucking weird. But Tina quitting before, yeah, she wanted to save face or whatever. Tina's still gonna walk off with an injured thing. Never mind. God damn it. Let's move on. Tina leaves. God damn it. Tina leaves because of a broken finger. There we go.
Yep.
Jemmy had to leave for some reason. I didn't even write why.
Didn't like she have a family member that was sick?
Oh shit! Maybe that's why I didn't remember.
Yeah.
It's like super sad and real.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't remember if it was maybe her grandma or grandpa or something. I didn't like it when she was talking on the phone to whatever family member it was. It was probably like her mom or something. And she's like, well, do I need to come home? And her family member was like, I'm not going to tell you that you have to come home. It's up to you. And like when they said that, I'm like, she has no option other than going home now. Like, when you have a family member that's basically, like, putting you on the spot, like, it's up to you, you know? And it sounded like, oh, if you don't come home, we're going to use it against you. And, like, I don't know. It just, I got the wrong vibe when I heard that line out of her family member's mouth. And I was like, well, I'm like, Jimmy has to go now.
Yeah, god damn it. Going back real quick, you mentioned how Beth quit because she was gonna lose.
Yeah.
People were helping Janae a lot. Remember that?
Well,
That's
yeah.
why she quit. She was like, this isn't fair.
It's because Beth spent the entire time in the fucking bar or whatever talking shit about, oh, John A. she's making out with MJ.
Yeah.
And they're having affairs and they love each other. Like, Beth talks shit and lies about everyone in the house. And then when she gets to an elimination, she's like, oh, why are they all helping the other person and not me? Maybe it's because you were talking shit the whole time.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, I don't like that either. I don't like that the crowd can help someone win over someone else. So, when she does say they're helping her, that is technically right?
She was going to lose
She's not
anyway.
lying. She's not lying. I'm saying.
I mean, no, she's not lying, but, like, she came to compete, and didn't she quit, like, twice that episode? Like, in the mission itself,
All
she's
the
like...
greats quit.
She's like, I don't want to jump off of this. It's too high up. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, yeah, she went into elimination, but then she did beat Kendall.
Okay. Because, like, didn't she... Was it when she made her return? Because she was, like, a replacement for, like...
For Tina.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, okay, she would have been on this, not as a replacement, but straight up, if Tina apologized, because she's like, I'm not going to be on the same season with Tina.
Oh, really?
Tina has yet to apologize for punching her in the duel.
Well, good for Tina. Like, she deserved, like... if I was Tina, I probably would have punched her too. She's super annoying. Like, when I first watched her punching Beth, I was like, Tina, you're a hothead. You're crazy. And those things may be true, but, like, when it's Beth, it's like, okay, I can see why you get a free shot at her. Sometimes, you take a plane, a 13-hour plane ride, and you're just like, all right, just for one punch. Fuck you, Beth.
All right, moving on. The treehouse, made of Sylvia, Kayla, Veronica, and Ronnie, versus Kendall and Kellyanne, basically.
Yeah.
The treehouse made out of, like, the younger crowd, Sylvia and Kayla, They shouldn't be on the show. I don't consider them all stars. Sylvia more so, because I think she fucking won Final Reckoning.
Yeah,
but then you have Veronica.
Joss, yeah.
You have Veronica, which is like, this is back in her power, where she always kind of worked with an alliance anyways. She was like a pioneer of that. She always had Tina, Rachel, you know what I mean? She always had those women around her. And then Ronnie, a surprise veteran who was, I think it's just because she moved into that room, because like Derek was part of that room, right?
Mm.
Yeah. But they're going to target Kendall and Kellyanne, two great veteran women of this particular trilogy. Yeah. So it just changed the laid back nature of the show for me. It really sucked. I liked it when it was more fun and golly gee whiz of the first and two seasons. Now this is more just like, we're attacking now.
Yeah.
Serious.
It was like the battle lines were drawn very quickly, and it was like, well, they're going after Kendall again. Like, we've seen this. It's like, oh, they're going after Kellyanne. Like, I don't know. It wasn't shocking to me at all that everyone was going to go after those two.
All right, fair enough. Next I have Jordan defeats Darrell.
Yeah.
And Steamroller. Remember that shit? That was nuts.
This is how somebody loses with dignity. Like, hats off to Darrell. Like, Darrell loses, but he doesn't, like, just quit. Like, he gave it his all. He knew he couldn't do it anymore, and then he fucking bowed out. He's like, he took the L. He's like, yeah, I lost.
Yeah. It was one of those great Jordan moments. Like, Jordan has CT-like moments where you're like, there's no way this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And they do something pretty special and extraordinary in the challenge. So, yeah. It's pretty sweet.
I really thought Darrell was going to win that. And then
Me
as
too.
we're watching it, like once it's like 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, then I'm like, oh no, this is turning into endurance. And I'm like, Jordan's going to win an endurance thing. And he did.
Halfway through the season, episode 5 changes from only 2 winners. Now, no more authority or whatever. And when you're in elimination, you can call out who you want to go against, quite like the duel, which is good. Like, that's one of the greatest concepts challenges ever produced. We covered all this shit too. John A versus Beth, Wes versus Yes. Next we have Jordan calls out Mark.
Oh yeah.
Remember that moment?
Yeah.
Now, okay, that's cool and everything. You want to call out the Godfather and shit like that. But like, you had to pull, like, you know, and okay, so Jordan has one arm or one hand. He has 2 arms. Yeah, he only has one hand. And so he's in there already, no matter what. Producers know that.
Yep.
What do they put him in? Where you have to use both hands to pull a rope to lift a weight. Puzzle, you can, well, you still got to use your hands. It would help to have 2 hands. But Jordan has done plenty of puzzles, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that pulling thing. So, like, regardless of who he picked out, it was uphill the entire time. It was fucked up.
I thought it was bogus when it happened. I was like, Jordan's got one hand, and you're gonna make him do something where you need 2 hands to pull the rope. Like when we were first watching it and they show the contraption, I was thinking like, oh, they're gonna have to climb that thing. That's what I thought at first, and I'm like, Jordan will be able to climb it faster than Mark because Mark weighs way too much. He's too heavy for it. But no, it's you gotta pull the rope, and it was like, why doesn't Jordan get an elimination like Derek had, where it was like, oh, the maze, and then you use it like a pool cue and hit the ball through the hole? Like, that's what Derek got to do. Like, but no, Jordan, sorry.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Do you think he pissed off the producers by doing something? Maybe the producers don't believe in interracial...
Oh.
You never know.
Interesting. Maybe they had a cookout and they talked over things.
Veronica DQs from a broken toe. That really sucks. It really did. Veronica is one of my favorites. I know, maybe not yours, but she's the OG 3-time female winner, and she always embraced alliances, you know. And when she did decide to come back years after the ruins, she was way older. She didn't have the relationships, you know, and she was getting injured and not performing well. In this case, she had a steady the Treehouse Alliance.
Yeah.
And that's her wheelhouse. She's able to like work with numbers and stuff like that, and just win in general. I think she won trivia that one episode. Yeah. But to be taken out with another broken thing, a broken toe.
Yeah, there was multiple female eliminations this season where they just didn't happen because the girl got injured or it happened and then Beth quit. It was unfortunate.
Very true. Veronica also left in vendettas from a broken finger. So Veronica is basically Anthony Pettis, is what I'm saying. You know, if he loses, it's because his body's just given up on him. There's too many wars, Dave.
Yeah.
She's had too many wars.
You're saying she's got osteoporosis? Her bones are weak.
I'm saying it's showtime for Veronica. All right, next I have Wes FaceTimes with bananas.
Oh, gosh.
So that wasn't a gimmick, Dave. They are for real friends.
This is... No. This is the first time we've seen bananas in a long while, I feel like. On the challenge.
Yeah,
right?
if you're not watching NBC's First Look.
No, I have no idea what that is. Who watches NBC? Like, seriously. I watch them every 2 years for the Olympics, and that is it.
Yeah.
It was weird to see bananas, and, like, I don't know. It kind of made sense because it fit with the episode. Because like Wes is like, all right, I have a bit of a dilemma. You know, do I go for this person? Because didn't he win the mission that episode and he had power?
No, he wanted to go into elimination to go against Derek because Derek had the most stars.
Oh, that's right.
And he heard that the stars were worth something, so he's like, Bananas, what would you do in my situation? You have one elimination left. Whoever has the most stars is going to do really well in the final, but you have to go against Derek Kaczynski. And Bananas like, he's like, that is the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's the last guy you want to go against.
Yeah, so he's like, this is an ego thing. You know, don't try and make a big move just because you want to make it. Like, play it smart. And I'm like, Bananas, what the fuck? Like, that is good advice, Wes. Like, I don't know.
Because that's what Wes screwed up when he had an alliance with Bananas. Wes wanted to make the big move, and he threw Bananas in against himself, and he got sent home for it.
That's right.
Just for trying to make a big move for TV, and it's like, dude, do not. It's just like, be calm, be rational. Like, but Wes just wants to go big.
Oh, yeah. I liked that he asked Nehemiah, he's like, okay, so one elimination left. Derek has all the stars. Would you go in to get those stars? And Nehemiah's like, it's not worth it. I'm not interested in the stars, right? But Derek goes into pole wrestle. He can do the rematch with Wes. Instead, he picks Nehemiah.
He bitched out. I've never said, like, I have so much respect for Derek. Like, after what he did against Joss,
yeah.
that was, you know, it might be the greatest elimination ever. You know, top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Like, Derek I have so much fucking respect for the guy. But in certain situations, when Derek has to do a vote, you know, he kind of takes the chicken shit way out, where he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, and he just goes with the crowd. In this situation, I don't know, maybe it's the smart move to just pick the smallest guy there. But, like, if it's something physical, like, Nehemiah is more athletic than Wes. I feel like Wes might be a little bit stronger, but Nehemiah, he seems faster and more agile.
Wes is more like short bursts.
Yeah.
Short spurts.
I don't know. I thought it was odd that he picked Nehemiah.
But still, though, okay, there's been a lot of shit talking over the years on podcasts. You know,
Oh,
even
yeah,
if it's
that's
friendly,
true.
even if it's friendly, Derek will be like, I could take him now. Like, he had the better night. Maybe he was on steroids. I heard, like, well, that was Bananas and Kenny saying, and Evan saying he was on steroids. I don't know if Derek's actually said that himself.
It's funny
But
that
there's
Evan would ever say that. Like, that guy's guilty.
they're not steroids. They're not called steroids in Canada, eh?
Yeah,
It's called
just
something else.
seeing those moose burgers.
But, like, so I thought we were going to get that rematch. I thought
Yeah.
Derek was going to call Wes out.
That's what I thought too. It is like everything seemed to be building up for that, and then it didn't happen. So, like, I don't know. It was confusing. It was a letdown, and I kind of took out my like anger on Derek. I was like, Derek, how dare you? You had this great opportunity. But it was like Derek was listening in on Banana's phone call. He's like, don't go for the big move. Play it safe.
He had the cup against the door. Yeah.
Like, play it safe, and, you know, watch me moon the screen like twice in a row.
Yeah,
'Cause
twice.
once
You're like-
is not enough. I hate Bananas.
And he's back this new season.
I know. You know, it was. You know, when Bananas used to moon the camera, like back in the day, like, because Bananas used to work out and, like, girls would say he has a cute butt. But, like, no, Bananas does not have a cute butt anymore. Like, it looks gross. Like, no one needs to see that. It is not 2013.
Okay. All right, so even though Derek did not take on Wes for the rematch of the century, he called up Nehemiah. They had a trilogy of rivalry. They always had beef in those other seasons. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, that's true.
So this was still cool in a way, and I'm glad. I'm a big fan of Nehemiah. I just have to say this right now before I forget. I think it's written, but it's at the end of the notes. Nehemiah was one of my favorite guys in season 1 and season 2. In this third season, you would never see him. You know, he's never saying anything. He's quiet. You know.
Yeah, he had a line about it, maybe in the final, where he said, like, I'm just laying low this year, trying to fly under the radar.
Yeah, and he did. It's just sucks because, like, I like him being himself. It's like he went back into a shell this season.
And was it the first season? He was phenomenal, and he was one of the best parts of it. Where I'm like, oh shit, Nehemiah's back, and he's better than ever. Yeah, he's like a John A, but not at the same level, because Nehemiah was still good back then.
Right.
But we're seeing, like, a better version of Nehemiah now.
And on top of that, like, a personality. Like, I never really considered his personality ever until this trilogy. Okay, so after all that, Nehemiah gets all the stars. The final is going to be staggered starts from the memory puzzle. Oh, they have to do a memory puzzle. What was it? It was like pictures of people in the final, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, in the house, there's pictures on the wall, and it's like, okay, who is seen drinking, like, out of a cup? And it was, like, Cyrus or something.
Right, yeah. All that stuff that they probably looked at countless times, you know? Yeah.
And then there was a crossword, this might be later, the crossword with geography. Mm-hmm. Like, where were these seasons taking place? Like, Norway, Argentina, or whatever they were.
Right, yeah. So that's fine. I remember Inferno 2, where the final combination was a question about what happened during the season. I don't mind that. You know, that's not spelling, that's not math. Yep. That's just you remembering what has happened. So,
when I was first watching it and I saw that, I was like, oh, Wes is going to win this. Like, Wes is going to know all of these answers. Like, I just knew it. And then there's certain people there, like Kayla, and you're like, she has no chance.
Oh, right.
Like
No, all she had to do was cheat, remember?
You have to look at Naya's answers.
Nehemiah and John A have 5 points going into the final. People are going to be paired up. I didn't write the pairs at all. This is all very broad.
Yeah.
Next, I have the yacht. That's the next note. Do you remember that shit?
I remember the yacht. Oh, is that where they spent the night on the yacht?
Yeah.
It was the overnight challenge, and we've always complained about how much we hate the overnight because they make them stand on a stump or eat some bad food or something, and just like, okay, you're going to be here for 12 hours, and you're only going to get an hour and a half of sleep.
Yeah.
Even though you just ran like 12 miles the day before.
But once again, for Wes, he gets to spend a night on a yacht in between finals. Remember that? Ruins 2? Remember that shit?
I don't remember that.
No, you don't? Okay. Alright, it's fine.
War of the Worlds 2?
No, Rivals 2.
Rivals 2.
He won with CT. They were on, Dream Island, Nightmare Island.
Is that where, like, Jemmy and Camilla couldn't finish the puzzle right beforehand, so they didn't make it to the yacht?
Neither can Jordan and Marlon.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
But what's interesting is that Wes actually gets seasick on this yacht. There was tension in this sequence when they're on the yacht. They're like, I know something, it's not going to be this easy. We're going to have to do something. The entire time they were saying that. It never happened. It was just a very rocky night.
Yeah. I was okay with this. They got some food and they got to recharge their batteries. And it was funny because they showed like some of the people like on the back of the yacht, like sitting out there looking at the stars and it's dark and they're chit-chatting and whatever. And like Wes was not there. Like you didn't see him at all. Like he was fast asleep. Like Wes was focused. He's like, I need to recharge and try not to vomit. Like he seemed like he went to bed early right after the meal where other people were like socializing and like getting a little bit of camera time before they went to bed.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten seasick?
Yes and no. Like I've felt seasickness where I was on like a fishing boat all day. So like once you get off of the boat, you still feel like you're moving and you're like rocking like with the waves, and like you feel it, but like it didn't bring me to sickness. But I can totally understand how it could. Like if I was on like an ocean rather than a lake, for sure.
And you're supposed to sleep? Like, oh god, it's horrible. Okay, so basically in this final, I wrote down that there's going to be a rematch between Kellyanne and Jonna from season 1 of All Stars, where they actually split first place for the women. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's almost like, spoilers. Jonna beats Kellyanne, right? Leaves her in the dust. Is this like Volkanovski versus Holloway?
Oh, yeah.
Like the second time you're like, oh god, they were like right there. Technically, I felt like Holloway might have won or whatever. But then they do it again and you're like, all right. Clearly,
it wasn't even close.
Clearly, Jonna is the superior. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but again, because I like Kellyanne.
Yeah, but it's like Kellyanne is like a little bit past her prime. And Jonna
He said that, not me, Kellyanne. If you ever listen, I like you.
But like she's at her peak right now. During these All-Star seasons, Jonna has just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no shame in losing to her at all.
I agree. She did end up in 4th place, so that's losing to her a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little shame. But not too much shame, Kellyanne.
And a little bit of shame to throw on that. This season of All-Stars, I really felt like the men's portion with Mark and Brad and Derek and Wes, it really felt like those guys were All-Stars. With the women, I didn't feel like they were necessarily All-Stars. Yeah. Like, there was Kayla, not really an All-Star.
Kayla, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And then you have... like Veronica, Tina, Beth, they're all past their prime. They're not what they were.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jonna, because she's been phenomenal. Like, she has like really exceeded all of her expectations.
Is she Charles Oliveira?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because like we've followed her and she had her ups and downs. But all of a sudden, she's just fucking great. So yeah. All right, cool.
Do you remember like the phone call with like the family member and Jonna is like talking to her husband?
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious.
What happened?
He was. I don't know. It was just not the kind of person you thought would be with Jonna. He was just like, because to me, Jonna, the first guy she dated was Zach on the challenge. So like this guy who she's married with, I'm like, he doesn't even closely resemble Zach in any way. I don't know. He just like Zach was like this tall, muscly dude, and this guy's just like some soft, pudgy dude. I don't know.
He's what they call marriage material, all right?
That's true. You know, he's fat in the waist and fat in the wallet.
All right, but in terms of rematches in a final, it's Wes and Brad from the Duel 1.
Yeah.
Brad and Nehemiah from Gauntlet 3.
Ooh.
And Brad and Mark in the Duel 2.
Wow. Yeah, Brad has been to so many finals.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Mark breaks a bike again. All right, so this goes back to, like, production. You have to put in more effort when it comes to your everything. Mark is a gigantic person. Any gigantic person could have broken that bike.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Mark is like 250 pounds of solid muscle. The dude owns a gym. And all he does all day is work out and fucking put on mass. Like, if you give him some old antique bicycle to ride, of course the chains are going to come off. Like, come on. Give him a legit mountain bike to ride.
Yeah. It's really shitty. Like, I don't know. Sucks.
Yeah.
And then I have kayaking again, despite saying how often things go wrong on them. Yeah, kayaking, apparently it's a big trouble in the challenge. It's very challenging. But not fun to watch. If someone just doesn't figure it out, it's not like it's like, oh my god, then they flipped over and was in a crash. No, it's just them in one spot.
Yeah, just falling further and further behind.
Yeah. And then I have Wes won again in the yacht.
Don't sound so disappointed.
And then John A again. Yeah, that's all I have. That was the end.
Yeah. Wes wins, and you know, at the very beginning of the second day, like I totally misinterpreted what TJ was saying, because TJ's like, on that yacht, they're standing on the beach, and he points at the yacht, and he's like, you see that yacht? First person to get to that yacht is gonna win the $500,000. And I was just like, well, this is rigged. I'm like, Wes is the best swimmer. Because I thought they were legit just going to be like, all right, go. First person to swim there gets it. But they're like, no. They're like, do this puzzle, stack these blocks, fucking do this, do that. And then they had to kayak out there. And then it was like, oh, okay. But like when TJ was first explaining it, I'm just like, oh, they're handing it to Wes. I'm like, he's going to be the best swimmer. I'm like, no doubt, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The stacking the blocks thing looked super difficult, and it was like freaking hundreds of pieces, it looked like.
Yeah. The other thing we didn't mention, the point system.
Yeah.
We finally have open scoring. Oh, wait, that's the UFC we're waiting for.
Oh, yeah. I really liked it. Like, I didn't love it, because some of the matchups were weird when they had to like push each other off the raft, and it was like, oh, you have to go against Mark. Right. I was like, well, obviously Mark is going to win that one. So like some of the competitions were a little lopsided,
right?
And it depended who you were partnered with. Because I was thinking when they had the bicycles, I was thinking of, what was it, the Duel 2? Was it Anissa trying to bike?
Yeah,
with Brad
Mark.
or Mark?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like some of the things where you're getting partnered with somebody else that can really slow you down. And everybody definitely took a round where they performed poorly because of their partner, it seemed like. But it seemed kind of equal, like everybody kind of had that.
Is this the last of the All-Stars? There's no All-Stars 4. I mean, there are people that we all want back. Clearly, they're not coming. Miz, Coral, Theo, Timmy. There are people that are. I'll say her twice. One for each tit.
Wow. See what your favorite attributes of hers are.
She brings it up herself every season. She's like, she has to talk about her own.
Yeah, she's too top heavy. It's hard for balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely do a fourth season.
They can keep
we'll see
going.
Why not. I mean, I think they're going to take a little bit of time off. Maybe next year they'll do one.
Put John A in a regular season already.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
For sure.
Nehemiah
She's
as well.
earned it. Yeah.
Yes.
Brad is back. I think.
Fuck. You know what?
Derek is back.
I forgot to mention that. Brad and and Derek never skipped a beat. In fact, I thought Brad was going to win this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I was actually rooting for him. I was like Wes is my favorite, and I want Wes to win. But like, I'm watching, and I'm just like, you know what? Brad has been so good this year. He hasn't like freaked out and had like a roid rage incident, yelling about pizza. He's been calm and cool. Like, he seems like a respectable dad. My favorite Brad moment, I think you might remember this from the final episode. They're showing the montage of everyone getting ready. They're putting on their shoes, putting on their Under Armour tank tops, and then there's Brad brushing and blow drying his beard, just mixed in the montage real quick. And it was the funniest damn moment of the freaking season. Just seeing like everyone's getting ready by, training for the final, and Brad's just combing his beard.
Honestly, though, I mean, it's pretty iconic in my world space. Like, out of all the beards I've seen, I'm like, Jesus Christ, look at that thing.
It was final worthy for sure.
I'm not even a beard guy. I can't grow a beard, but I can recognize a good beard.
Brad has enough beard for 5 men.
And then also Derek. Derek he's out of the game, but Jesus Christ, he's just as good. Like he never skips a beat either. Him and Brad are like the same dude to me all the time. You know, like they've only gotten better somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, so that's the end of the episode. Well, either way, like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vince and Cloud.
And Famous Dave.